Caterina Sforza is truly a remarkable woman to learn about. She was everything, from an illegitimate daughter to a noblewoman, wife, mother, regent, tyrant, and more. She can hardly be described with one word, and I could easily do an entire video or two on her. But today, I'm going to take a look at the small event featured in Assassin's Creed 2 that really showed what kind of woman she was. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Real History Of, an episodic web series where I take a look at the real people and events that were inspirations for popular video games. I'm your host Christopher, the video game historian, and on this week's episode, I'm going to take a look at Caterina Sforza in The Real History of the Defense of Forli. Born in 1463 as the illegitimate daughter of Galeazzo Maria Sforza and Lucrezia Landriani, she had all the trappings of high society. She was raised as part of the Sforza family as one of their own and given a formal education that stressed individuality. In 1477, she was married to Girolamo Riario in order to help strengthen the ties between the Sforzas and the papacy. Riario, being the nephew of Pope Sixtus IV, along with being the general of the papal armies and castellan of Castel St. Angelo in Rome, meant the family had wealth and honors practically given to them. Riario was already the Lord of Imola when he married, and in 1480 will also be granted Forli, being made its ruler. Jumping ahead a bit, in 1484 when Pope Sixtus passes away, the family is forced to flee Rome after Caterina marched troops into the cardinals' chambers to pressure them into electing a new pope who would be comfortable with Riario's interests. After negotiating, she withdrew her troops and moved their court to Forli, not getting what she wanted. With the pope deceased, the family was essentially stripped of any honors and ranks they once held under Sixtus by Pope Innocent VIII, along with a stop to their supply of wealth. They were allowed to keep Imola and Forli though, and despite telling the people of Forli that he would not raise taxes, Riario proceeded to do so, which instigated a rebellion in the city. Cecco Orsi, a friend of Riario, would be the one to kill him in his home on the night of April 14th, 1488, for the crime of implementing taxes back into Forli. With Riario dead, Caterina and her family were immediately captured and imprisoned by the Orsi and the town. Upon their capture, the rebels marched Caterina to the Rocca di Ravaldino, which was still in the hands of her loyalists, and demanded that the Castellan open the gates and surrender the fortress. Being secretly instructed prior to her capture, the Castellan did not yield, despite the Orsi pointing a blade at Caterina's breasts. With their failure there, they decided to do the same thing at the fort of Schiavoni, with the same results being played out. Being brought back to Ravaldino, Caterina and a few of her loyalists who were scattered amongst the rebel mob were able to convince her captors that if she were to go into the fortress alone, she will negotiate with the Castellan to surrender the fortress to the rebels. They allowed her to do so while keeping her children as hostages, and upon entering the fortress, before the gates shut, Caterina turned to her captors, giving them obscene hand gestures. What happened next is one of two stories. The first story, which is more likely to be true, is that upon entering the fortress she got on the battlements, brushing off threats that they would kill her children, and saying that she is pregnant with child, and that, quote, the one in Milan and the one she has in her body are enough, end quote. Promising that if they hurt any of her children, the child she is pregnant with will grow up to take revenge on every single one of the rebels. Taking the hints, the rebels fled. The second story is, well, this.
Caterina! Caterina Sforza! I know you're in there! I have something you may want back! Are you missing any children? And Ezio Auditore! What a pleasant surprise!
I take it you would be the Orsi brothers.
Ludovico and Gecko, at your service.
Basta! Where are my children? Let them go!
Of course, Signora. We'll happily give them back for something of yours. A certain map.
And a certain apple, brother.
See, a certain apple indeed. Or shall I slice your baby's necks ear to ear?
Bastardi! You think you can threaten me? I'll give you nothing! You want my children? Take them! I have the instrument to make more!
When you change your mind, they'll be in the village outside the city. You have 1 hour!
The second story seems to be more made up of legend, as it is only told by Machiavelli, who, upon hearing the story and being impressed with it, exaggerated a bit. Machiavelli would go from being impressed by Caterina to calling her a tyrant. The rebels would ultimately be defeated as armies from her uncle Ludovico il Moro would intervene and bring Caterina to rule in Forli as regent to her eldest son, Ottaviano. There you all have it, the defense of Forli in 1488. If there is one woman in history not to cross, it is for sure Caterina Sforza, who basically showed that she would do absolutely anything to secure herself and her family's safety, even if she had to create a ruse and put them in danger herself. Smart, intelligent, cunning, and unrelenting, Caterina Sforza definitely makes an impression upon history, and the defense of Forli shows that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much.
What are you doing out here?
I'm so sorry, Ezio. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
It was a trick to lower our defenses.
As soon as you left, they attacked again. Keko Orsi, he has the apple.
What? No! Where is he?
We chased him out here. But the bastards escaped into the mountains.
I'm going.
They say that new contraption from Padua does wonders to a man's balls, yes?